Well, hello. Welcome once again to Pale Blooms and Beyond. Thank you for joining us today. Curtis Bachman is most recognized as an original member and bassist for Chicago pop band the Buckinghams. From 1966 to 1970, the band released 4 albums and several singles. Post-breakup and in recent years, there have been 7 more albums and a few compilations released. In 1967, the band charted 5 top 40 hits: Kind of a Drag, my favorite, Don't You Care, Mercy, 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 Hey Baby, They're Playing Our Song, and Susan. Prior to the Buckinghams, Curtis played in the Centuries and then the Pulsations, the band that would ultimately become the Buckinghams. After leaving the Buckinghams, Mr. Bachman played on the 1968 album Reach Out of the Darkness by folk duo Friend and Lover, aka Jim and Cathy Post. Curtis rejoined the Buckinghams for a period and then was in the band Truth, which consisted of former members of Them, Van Morrison's old band. The Buckinghams reformed in 1980 and are still performing to this day. Curtis retired from playing in 2021. Well, welcome, Curtis.
Well, thank you, Greg. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, it's nice to be had, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, take us back to the beginning. Where were you born?
Evanston, Illinois, which is a suburb of Chicago.
All righty. You have fond memories of your childhood there?
Well, no, we kind of moved. My family moved out of there in '52, and moved to. My dad built our first family home in Morton Grove.
Okay.
And I stayed there until about 1966, and then I hit the road with the Buckinghams.
All right, all right. Do you remember early on hearing music in the household?
Yeah. My dad always had the radio on.
Okay.
And it was usually elevator music.
Okay.
Compared to compared to what the pop music was at the time.
Yeah.
Yeah, my dad was a musician as well, and so.
Okay, so you got the genes from him, huh?
Yeah. There was always a lot of music in the house. He played guitar and keys and harmonica, and he would have his friends over to the house on the weekends, and they would jam, and they would sometimes let me sit in with them.
Ah, really? Okay.
Yeah.
How old were you when you first started playing?
Well, I started with piano lessons when I was like 7 years old.
Okay.
And I gave up that, um, and I went to percussion, and then I gave that up and went to where did I go to after that? I ended up playing sousaphone in high school.
Oh, do you? You don't hear that come up too much.
No.
That instrument.
Yeah.
When did you pick up the bass?
Right when I left high school, and I think that was like '63. I always had an affinity to uh, the low stuff, the bass stuff.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
So
You like the sound.
yeah.
Yeah. Can you remember did either your parents or you buy any 45s or albums as a kid?
Uh, you know, my dad had a jukebox in the basement.
Okay.
But I only played 78 RPMs.
Ah, right. Yeah, I remember those. Yeah, my dad had some of those as
Yeah.
well. Yeah. You know what I grew up on was Herb Albert and the Tijuana Brass.
Oh,
And
yeah.
do you remember the Baja Marimba Band? The same kind of music. It's that south of the border kind of
Uh,
kind of sound. And they had some good. He had a couple of their albums. Yeah,
okay.
yeah. So he liked that kind of music. Well,
Yeah.
talk about some of the bands and the musicians you were into as a teen or early on.
Um, my earliest records that I bought when I finally got a record player that could play a 45 was jazz. I
Okay.
got into Cannonball Adderley. I
Ah,
really like Cannonball. And uh, yeah, yeah, that was my earliest music that I liked, that I bought records. Um, but then, of course, the Beatles happened and that changed the world.
yeah, yeah. Well, since you were from up there in that area of the country, how about the Chicago blues scene? Were you into that?
Yeah, used to go to Maxwell Street on
Okay.
Sundays because there are a lot of street bands playing there.
Yeah.
Uh, so yeah, yeah, blues. Yeah, Chicago has got a lot of great. Uh, no, no, it's a big music city,
Yeah. Yes.
and there's the blues, and there's always been jazz here. We had some great jazz clubs called. There was the Birdhouse, I remember, and Mr. Kelly's, and there were a few other ones that I could sneak into. That I got to see live acts.
Well, how about first? Can you remember like a first concert that you went to? Maybe or one of the first?
No, I don't. Let me think. Um, no, I don't recall.
Okay.
Uh,
How, how about the music scene around you at the time when you were, let's say, a teenager?
yeah,
Was it really happening?
yeah, oh yeah. There was a lot of let's see, Aaron Russo, a guy named Aaron Russo,
Okay.
had had a um had a club called uh he's my memory is not all that good. Aaron, I can tell you, Aaron Russo was a club owner early in the days, and he later became a manager of Chicago and and what's another band? Uh, Darn it. Um, as a vocal group, four piece vocal group, Manhattan Transfer.
Oh, Manhattan. Yes. Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
and
I like that early when they were a Chicago Transit Authority, the early stuff like that. Yeah. But of course, I like all of Chicago. I like their later stuff too. But
uh,
yeah, yeah. I mean, they were really innovative with the horns, and not a lot of the bands were doing that.
right.
Yeah, introducing that sound. Well, what was your very first band that you were a part of?
That would be the Centuries.
Okay, okay. Mentioned in the intro. Okay.
Yeah.
How did you guys form or get together?
Well, some of us went to school together, and others were just neighborhood guys that we. Um, I used to hang out with a guy named Jerry Lardy, um, and I had a drum kit at that time in my basement. He used to like coming banging on my drums, um, and uh, and Jerry was Carl Gemarisi's cousin.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, and and Nick Fortuno was went to the same high school I did.
Okay. Okay.
So we all just kind of bumped into each other and started a group, and that was the Centuries. We had
Okay.
one single that we recorded called "I Love You No More," um, which was a local favorite.
Oh, was it?
Sorry,
I said, oh, it was.
yeah,
Did
yeah.
it get did it get
It was
played on
really like
the
It was written by Jeff Boyan.
Okay.
I don't know if you're familiar with him. He's a
Yes.
singer-songwriter.
Yes, I am. Yes, I am.
Oh, you are? Okay. Um, yeah, he wrote both the A and the B side. The B side was called "It's All Right," and then when the Centuries broke up, we kind of scattered a little bit. But Carl and I then joined a group called the Pulsations,
Yeah.
and we got a job doing a WGN musical variety show.
Oh,
It was
okay.
called the All Time Hits Show, and it was music from three different decades that it covered. We covered the decade of the '60s.
Uh-huh.
And,
Did you enjoy that?
no, I didn't at all. No,
Okay.
no, they had us doing cover songs, you know.
Yeah, yeah, that's true.
And this is before "Don't You Care" or "Kind of a Drag" or any of the
Yeah,
other songs.
right.
And basically, that's why I left the Buckinghams the first time. It was just because they had us dressed up in costumes and doing cover tunes, and it's not where I was at
Right, right.
musically. Yeah.
Was that the management, the record company's idea?
No, it was pretty much our manager. Our
Okay,
manager's idea.
okay,
A guy named Carl Bonafetti.
okay.
Yeah.
A lot of Italians, yeah, up there. I
Yeah.
was going to say,
How about
that's why I didn't try to pronounce any of the guys' last names because they're too hard to pronounce.
that?
Yours is easy.
Yeah. Yeah.
You're not, I know you're not related to Randy, are you?
No, not at all.
Okay. 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 Uh, well, now whose idea was it to change the name to the Buckinghams?
Well, we were doing it was a weekly TV show at WGN where they had us dressed up in costumes and stuff. Um, uh, when they hired us, they didn't like the name the Pulsations because it was too suggestive.
Right.
And,
Right.
you know,
Yeah,
WGN's
I
a
get
family station, you know.
right. I get that.
So we were. I was hanging. Oh, excuse me, Sasha.
What
We're talking here.
what what kind of dog do you have?
It's a pit bull mix. Yeah.
Okay,
Anyway.
that's our. We have a
Um,
Labrador. We have a Labradoodle here.
oh, all right.
Yeah. Okay. Enough about dogs. Okay.
Yeah,
All
right.
right. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Uh, so during breaks and takes while we're taping this TV show, excuse me,
Bless you.
um, thanks. I would go out. I would go out um, and meet. There was a security guard at WGN, and I would step out that door, and as I would step out that door, he'd be smoking a joint, and I would join him. Um, anyway, started talking with him. To make a long story short, his name um, was John O'Pager. He came up with the idea for the name Buckinghams. It was his idea,
Okay.
and it came just in time. Otherwise, WGN was going to name us, and we wanted nothing to have to do with that.
Right. Right. Yeah. Well, I heard it's that because it sounded a little more like British sounding, kind of Buckingham's, like
Yeah,
Buckingham Palace. You know.
yeah. It was was the time of the British invasion. So,
Yeah.
anything that sounded British was popular. Plus,
Yeah.
we have a very famous fountain here in Chicago called Buckingham Fountain.
Ah, all right. All right.
So, yeah, um, it's a very large fountain with spouting water and light show and blah blah blah.
Oh,
Anyway,
really? And it's
that's
still
on the lake.
active. It's
Oh
still
yeah,
still active.
yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah. It's very famous. I think it's the largest land fountain in the world. I'm not sure about that. Don't
Wow.
quote me.
Okay.
Well,
Okay.
you can look that up. Do what you do.
Okay. Yeah. Does it freeze over during the winter?
Well, no, it's not used during the winter.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah,
Gotcha. All right.
yeah, it's
Well,
drained.
well, how about some interesting stories when you were with the Buckinghams the first go round?
The first go around was the WGN show. That was the most interesting. But the second time around, though, we did we did a gig. Let's see if I remember this right. Clear Lake, Iowa. I think it
Okay.
was Clear Lake. Yeah. Um, that's where the Big Bopper and Buddy Holly and those guys crashed and died.
Right. I thought I remembered that name. Yes. Yes, it was.
Yeah. Well, we did that gig, that same venue, and flew the same airlines to get to the gig because you had to fly into, I can't remember, it was Des Moines or something, and then take a local flight into the gig in Clear Lake. And we did that gig on using the same airline on the anniversary of the day the music died.
Whoa. Was
Yeah.
were any of you guys like superstitious about doing that? Like, well, maybe we shouldn't do this. Anniversary and
Nah.
no?
It
You live dangerously,
was just
huh?
another gig.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, or
But
you
not
could have
really.
looked right, you could have looked at it like, well, it can't happen again, right? I mean, yeah. Do you remember did you ever see the Robin Williams World According to Garp? Did you see that
Yeah,
movie? Okay.
yeah,
Do you remember the part where he goes and they're looking for houses and the one has been destroyed, was it by a tornado, I believe? And he says, I want this house. I want to build right here because what are the odds of it happening again?
yeah, right.
So
Um,
that's a odd way of looking at it, but
yeah.
yeah, yeah. Well, how about some of the recording sessions? Do you recall any of those?
With the Buckinghams,
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
I didn't do many.
Okay.
Um, I did the last two singles, maybe three.
Okay.
Um, a song called "It's a Beautiful Day"
Okay.
and a song called "It's a Difference of Opinion." And I think there was one more. I don't recall. Yeah.
Okay. How about some of the live shows then? Any that stand out that you were a part of?
Oh yeah. Yeah. We did a lot of flying around and from state to state, and it wasn't a it was when I was the second time I was with the band, it, they were not at the height of their career, of their popularity,
Yeah.
and so gigs were uh, not not far between, but they weren't back to back to back to back. We
Yeah.
didn't do any crazy, touring a lot,
Okay.
uh, and and they got to the point where they couldn't afford to fly to the gigs, so we ended up driving our own cars to many local gigs, within 50, 75 miles, whatever.
Uh-huh.
Um, yeah, and that's some of my best memories because um, Dennis Stefano had a
Mhm.
what did he have? He had an XKE, and Carl had a Porsche.
Oh,
I had an Austin Healey 3000.
oh yeah, I like those. Yeah, Austin Healy's.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And, oh, I love that car. I love that
yeah,
car.
yeah.
So we did a lot of racing to and from those gigs on the
Uh-huh.
highways. But
Uh-huh.
gigs I don't really remember because we had we would drive to the gig, we would go to the hotel, we would get ready and drive to the gig, and we would walk on stage where everything was set up and play our set and get back on our cars and leave, or get back on an airplane and leave. I I really don't recall the venues, and
Okay.
there was just a lot of them, and they were kind of blended into each other.
They do over time. You're right. Do you remember playing any bills with any other acts, any other bands?
I do not.
Yeah, yeah,
I know we did.
yeah. But
The
you
name
guys
Black
go ahead.
Sabbath rings a
Oh,
bell,
oh wow.
but I don't recall it.
Yeah.
Um, yeah,
Did you guys get to play in the UK, or was it just in America?
just in the States.
Just in the States. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Uh, was there everybody was there, when you're with a band that long, you're almost like a family, right? I mean,
Yeah.
then sometimes it becomes a little trying, right? Being with those
Well,
same people all the time.
no,
Yeah,
not really.
it didn't really. You guys got
No.
along pretty well.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
I
for the
did
most
anyway.
part. Yeah, you did. Okay, you got there you go. There you go. Well, after you left the first time, you hooked up with Jim and Cathy Post, friend,
Right.
friend and lover. How did that come to be? How did you get with them?
Um, I was approached by their manager, road manager, actually,
Mhm.
to join them. And it was at a period when the Buckinghams weren't happening. So,
Okay.
and besides, um, the friend and lover, they already had Jim Schwall in the band. You familiar with his name?
No, I'm not. How do you spell it,
Siegel,
Jim?
the
Jim?
Siegel Schwall Blues Band.
No,
Schwall, Schwall, a
no,
very
no, I'm not.
popular blues band.
Okay, I'll
Yeah,
have to check that out. No.
uh, and that was Jim Schwall and a guy named Chuck DeMeyer on keys, and then an Egyptian drummer, Yahya Kahil. Uh, I never could pronounce his name right.
Okay, you try
Yahya Kahil.
it.
Anyway,
I'm not going to try that. Okay.
yeah,
Well, you yes, because Jim was born in Houston. Jim Post, he's
yeah,
Houston born. Yeah,
yep,
yeah.
yep, yep, yeah.
So, but he had migrated up to your area up there. I guess
Yeah,
yeah. You know who I always get confused? Well, I think Jim Post. I think of Mike Post.
Mike Post, yeah.
The wrote the themes, TV, Hill Street Blues, Magnum PI, Rockford
Uh,
Files. Yeah,
all
yeah. So
right,
that's
right,
not
right.
when I Jim Post. I think of Mike Post. Two different people.
Yeah,
Um, but he and his wife Kathy. Yeah, yeah. And of course, that "Reach Out of the Darkness," the song itself has gotten a lot of mileage.
it
It's
had.
turned up in different shows and things like that. So over the years,
Yeah.
wow. So you played on that. Do you remember playing on those recording session for that
Well,
album?
I did not record the original "Reach Out in the Darkness." No,
Oh, okay.
that was I believe it was a studio musician.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Okay. Did did you get to play live with them?
Oh, yeah, we did a lot of touring. Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
And then how long was it after that that you rejoined the Buckinghams?
Uh, did I get lost here? The second time with the Buckinghams. Uh, I was with Jim Cathy Post for about a year, I think,
Okay.
and and the Bucks wanted me back.
Okay.
I did that, and then I got approached to do Truth. Truth
Okay.
was a that
Okay.
was a
How were you approached to play with Truth?
again there was a manager. Um, I guess what happened was um, them Van Morrison's group them
Yeah.
um, uh, had recorded Gloria, and there was an objectionable word in that song that that they, it got taken off the air,
Yeah. Yeah.
and a local band called the Shadows of Night picked it up, cleaned up the lyrics, and that made a big hit out of it.
Yeah.
And so what was left of Morrison's band was the guitarist um, Jim Armstrong and the sax player Ray Elliott, and with those two guys, we hooked up with myself and a drummer from Chicago by the name of Reno Smith, and and we did a lot of recording um, and tried to get it released, but um, never did. Now you can find that on YouTube. There's like
Okay.
90 minutes of Truth recordings.
Oh, all
Uh,
right. That's
uh,
how do you because there's at least one other band called Truth or The Truth, so in looking for that I was a little confused which how to locate that, how to track that down.
yeah,
Uh an English band. It was an English band, I believe. But yeah, but
yeah,
I'll look at it. You said about 90 minutes of that
yeah,
material. Okay. I'll look that up on YouTube and see about that. Well,
yeah.
how long were you with Truth?
We lasted about 2 years.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah.
You guys get along pretty well in that band?
No, there was the most conflict was in that band that I ever
Oh,
experienced.
okay.
Yeah.
Ah,
Uh,
all right. All right.
I I think it had something to do with the Irish doing a lot of drinking.
Okay. That usually is the case.
Yeah, yeah. Ray Elliott was Ray Elliott was a notorious drunk. So
Okay. Okay. All right. Uh, well, did you guys you played some live shows as
yeah,
well?
we did a lot. Yeah,
Yeah, you did.
um,
But
yeah,
uh, there was a lot of hot heads in that band.
yeah. Yeah. I rem- I remember one gig that we did was in Baton Rouge, Louisiana.
Ah, okay.
Uh, let's see, that was in '69, I believe,
Uh-huh.
and we were the opening act for Chuck Berry at an outdoor rock festival.
Really, really. And
And I don't know if you know Chuck Berry's history, but he never carried a band with him when he went on the road, when he did rock festivals. He simply used the band that opened up for him to be his backup band.
okay, that's interesting. I did not
Yeah,
know that.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah. He was a jerk. Sorry,
Okay.
Chuck.
I've heard some. I've heard some stories. Yeah, I
Yeah, yeah.
have.
Yeah. But that was fun. I got to play with Chuck Berry for one night.
Oh, all right, all right. Did he do his strutting across the stage?
Oh yeah,
Oh
the
yeah,
good stuff. Yeah, the duck,
yeah.
duck walk.
Duck
The
walk,
duck
yeah,
walk. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. I think so. I think so. Wow. Okay. Yeah. I know a friend of mine who's passed away. He got to see Chuck Berry late, I guess, before he passed away. But he met his daughter backstage and said she was very nice, though. He
Uh,
got to meet her. Yeah, she was very
yeah.
nice. Well, in recent years, um, talking about the Buckinghams again,
Okay.
they played a lot of corporate events, casinos, arenas, festivals, theaters, things like that.
Yeah.
Have, have you been a part of that?
No. No.
Yeah. Speaking
I
of,
did. I
go
did
ahead.
do gigs like that, corporate parties and casinos and all that sort of thing, with a band called Mickey and the Memories.
Oh, all right, all right. That's another
Uh,
one. Yeah.
yeah.
Another.
There was a six-piece band with three girl singers in front,
Uh-huh.
and, and we did all hits from the 50s and 60s.
Oh, okay. Covered those. Well,
Yeah.
that's another feather in your cap.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So they're all coming back to you now. So the band
Right.
you were that you were in. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, well, talk about when did you start playing again with the reformed Buckinghams? When did you play
I
with
think
them?
that was 68, I think that was.
Oh, back there. I'm talking about the more recent since 1980. Did you play with any of the guys then?
No,
Okay.
no,
Okay. Yeah. They went
no.
through different. Go
Yeah,
ahead.
there was a whole lot of personnel changes in the
Yes.
Buccaneers over the years,
Yes.
and so there was a lot of they were doing things that I had no idea what they were up to and what kind of gigs they were doing. But but I always stayed in touch with Carl and Nick, and I still see them every now and then. We get together, and good to see them, old friends.
They're still going strong.
Yeah, yeah, in the good weather and in the summertime, they do a lot of I don't know, park district things and uh, pretty much local stuff.
Yeah.
Um, but over the past 5 years or so, they've been doing tremendously well. Probably been doing better now than they did in their heyday.
Yeah.
Because in their heyday, they had lots of, this is from the mouth of Carl. And when they were popular, that had a huge overhead.
Okay.
Travel expenses, sound support, uh, you name it, and that all came off the top before they got paid.
Yeah.
But now they show up and there's a sound system there already. They don't have
Mhm.
to, hire a sound company to and they're doing very well now. But
Yeah.
mostly, like I say, in the spring and summertime, they do quite well with
I noticed they're on those 60s tours,
yeah,
the oldies tours and things like that, they're always
yeah,
part, you
yeah.
know.
They do that every year. It's called a uh, Happy Together Again tour or something like that.
Yes, that's
Yeah,
right.
with the Turtles.
Right. In fact, they were
Um,
down here not too long ago, I guess, in Arlington, maybe Arlington, Texas. They played in
mhm.
one of the arenas. Yeah. I wonder, do they do that boat tour? What is that called? The one that they go out
A
on the,
cruise?
yeah, cruises. Yeah. Yeah. Wonder if
I
they
don't
do
know. I don't know if they do those.
do those or not. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, talk about what you yourself did after music or after you stopped playing.
Uh, I haven't been doing much at all.
Uh-huh.
Um, I can't play anymore because of arthritis in my hand,
Okay.
and no, I don't do much. I'm kind of a local celebrity
Okay.
here. Um, the Buckinghams came from the area that I live in now,
Okay.
in Chicago. So I mean, um, quite often I run into people, um, mostly at my corner bar that I hang out at. Um, that when the word comes around in conversation that I was in the Buckinghams, um, they say, "Oh yeah, you played at my mom's prom, or there's somebody's graduation, or uh, they remember the Buckinghams, but they're, not because you know their parents. They're anyway. So I do a lot of autograph signing at my local bar. I have pictures of the Buckinghams that I carry with me, and I sign autographs, and I get free drinks.
Okay. Yeah, I was going to go through. Yeah, those are some nice pictures. Yeah, I think that's what you sent me.
Yeah,
Here and some of your friends and it's nice to hear from, like you said, from the old fans, the fans
yeah,
that knew you from back then. Yeah. Have they,
yeah,
and I'm sure some of them have turned their sons and daughters and grandkids onto Buckingham's, turned.
absolutely.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. There's the picture with Truth. There's the picture with, I don't know if, well, let me get it centered. There we go.
uh,
There, there you go.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah. And yeah, the jazz showcase. Here we go. Where jazz lives in Chicago. There we go. There we go. Yeah.
Yeah. It's one of my favorite hangouts to listen to jazz.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. I've noticed some of your pictures that you post, yeah, on Facebook. And here's Friend and Lover. Yeah, yeah,
Okay.
yeah. Yeah, you sent to me also. Get that right.
Uh-huh.
There we go.
Yeah.
Get it. Yeah. There you go.
Uh-huh.
There you go. Yeah, and sadly, Jim and Kathy have passed, haven't they? Jim, both of
Uh,
them?
I don't know about Kathy, but I know Jim has.
Okay, okay. All right. Yeah. Well, that's cool. So when you're in there, then like you said, you're the kind of the local celebrity. Well, what about this Playboy here? I got to ask you about that. Was there an article in there?
Yeah, some of those pictures I sent just happened to
Uh-huh.
be in a group that with
Okay.
other pictures of, like I know
Uh-huh.
Carl Marisa was in there. Oh, no, the Playboy cover was a friend of mine. Her name is Dale Fahey. She was a cover girl for Playboy.
Oh, okay. That's what it was. Because I was looking at the article. I mean, what was listed on the cover, and I didn't see anything about Buckinghams or anything. Okay. So you knew the model, okay.
Correct.
Got
In
that.
fact,
Got that.
in fact, she was the wife of John Polis. John Polis
Oh,
being the drummer with the Buckinghams.
yes, yes. Okay. All right. Now you have to tell me who this is too. If I get that up there. There we go.
Oh, okay. Well, that's me in the center.
Uh-huh.
And to my left is Jim Schwall. And
Okay.
to my right is you got to give me a minute to think of his name. Um, half of a duo. Um, I want to say Flats and Scruggs, but that's not right. Um, it'll come to me. Oh
All right.
no,
That's all
Burns.
right. That's
His
all
name
right.
is Burns.
2 out of 3.
Yeah, Homer and Jethro.
Homer and Jethro. Okay. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yes. Homer and Jethro.
Yeah.
Ah. Okay. There we go. All right. All right. Yeah. These are some nice picks that you said. Well, talk about what did you do? What kind of business did you get into outside of music? What else did you do with your life?
Well, not a whole lot. I did. I I was a sales representative for a company that manufactured replacement parts for printing presses.
Okay. Okay.
So it was a big outfit here in Chicago, a manufacturing business that um, made replacement parts for printing presses. So if you had a broken printing press and you needed a part, you would
Uh-huh.
call my company, the company I worked for. It's called Parts, Printers Parts, and I was with them a couple of years. I don't know, maybe 5 years, 6 years, um, and they flew me all around the world, different places. I hit uh, just about every country in the Western Hemisphere, from England, Ireland, Belgium, France, Italy, Germany, and uh, Holland. Um, what
You
else?
did.
St. Petersburg, Russia, Beijing, China. They sent me to all the trade shows around the world.
Okay. Did you get to do any sightseeing when you're in those
Oh
countries?
yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
good. You had enough time to do that.
Oh
That
yeah.
that
That was a perk for the job. I'll tell you.
right. Yeah, I wouldn't want to do that unless you got to see some of the local scenery and choose some
Yeah.
of the scenery. Yeah, yeah. Oh well, so you've been all over.
No, I got to walk on the Great Wall of China.
Oh,
Yeah,
did you? Did you really? Did you
yeah,
really?
yeah. That was a treat. That was almost as good as playing for Chuck Berry.
Right up there with Chuck Berry.
Yeah,
Yeah, man, that's something. I've only seen pictures of it. I've never been there, but wow,
yeah.
that's something, man. How long it took them to build that? Wow.
Yeah,
Did you get some good pictures when you're in these different
yeah,
countries?
I did. Yeah, I did. But it was in 1996, I think it was.
Okay.
And
Bless you.
thank you. And I didn't have a phone camera like I got now.
Yeah, yeah.
I just had It's just a 35 millimeter camera, so I got a lot of snapshots. You
Yeah. Yeah. I remember those. Yeah. It's funny. I bet a lot of those camera film developing companies have gone out of business, haven't they?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, because remember they were all, I mean, every shopping center had one of those, like instant or 48 hour, 24 hours or hour, you know.
Right. 1 hour. Sure.
Yeah, one
Yeah.
hour. Yeah. And then now, I mean, you just take a picture with your phone. So it's
Yeah.
I'm sure put a lot of people out of business.
Yeah.
Uh, yeah, everybody can do their own thing now. Well, what else is what other kind of hobbies or what kind of interests do you have? You know,
No,
yeah.
not much. It's my dog.
Your dog? Yeah.
Yep.
What's your dog's name?
Sasha.
Ah, okay. All right, all right. And how old is the dog?
She's about 10 years old.
Oh, okay.
Um, she's not really my dog. I'm providing a foster home for her.
Okay.
Um, she was she was in the homes. Some elderly lady died at home. The lady that owned Sasha
Uh-huh.
died. So when they came in to carry her out, they took Sasha to the local um, rescue center.
Yeah.
Yeah. So so not really much is known about Sasha, and so they think when I picked her up, they think she's about 10 years old, and but they know little else.
Yeah.
Um, so the the canine center is a no kill center.
Yeah.
So they keep all the dogs that they get that are rescued and try to get foster parents for them. So that's what I do.
Yeah. That's a good thing. That's a very good thing. I'm a dog person myself. That's all I've ever had is
Oh yeah.
dogs, you know. Um, and I know my brother has a rescue dog. And
Uh,
did Sasha take to you right away, or was she kind of wait and see?
um, no, she was a wait and see, but
Yeah,
she didn't take her long,
yeah,
and I found out she's very well trained. I didn't
yeah,
have to train her to do anything.
yeah,
Sit, stay, give me paw, uh,
yeah, yeah,
housebroken, all that stuff.
yeah.
And she obeys my commands like instantly,
Uh-huh.
usually. And no, she's a good dog. She's a loving dog.
Yeah. That's what, yeah, our dog Max, he's about
Yeah.
five or six Labradoodle, and he became eventually house trained because he got tired of the little area that we had where he would wet. I guess he got tired of the of the smell and everything, so he finally started going outside, like we wanted him. He didn't like being around that. But yeah,
Yeah.
he's a good dog. And sometimes he's a little too smart for his own good. You know, he's Labrador and Poodle are both really intelligent, and so
Yeah.
he's stubborn. He's very, let's put it that way. He's a very stubborn dog.
Yeah.
If he doesn't want to do it, he's not going to. But he's not. He's a very loving dog too.
Good.
Everything. But
Yeah,
my
I'll tell you what, they provide a lot of comfort and companionship. At my age, it's very welcome.
Yeah, and I agree. They are man's best friend. I
Yeah.
agree that they are. I've had two or three different. And most of them I've had two labs, just strictly labs, and then another one was a combination Labrador and Beagle. But it was
Uh,
mostly looked like a lab though. It was
uh,
a
I had a
smaller.
beagle. I had a
Uh-huh.
beagle, the best dog I ever had.
Yeah, they are good dogs.
Yeah,
They
smart.
they are smart. Yeah. Uh,
Yeah.
so so yeah, anyway, uh, enough about that. I hope ours is about 5 or 6, I believe now. So
Uh-huh.
I hope we'll have him for a few more years. So,
Yeah.
all right. Well, Curtis, anything you'd like to leave us with, or any thoughts, or anything you'd like to add?
Oh no, I think we covered it all.
Okay, okay. If so, as long as we've covered it up, then maybe nobody will find it. No. Uh, Sorry, I don't know what.
Well, I'm looking forward to seeing you when you post this, and
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I will, and of course, get the word out that your friends there, where you hang out and stuff. That it'll be upcoming, and then share it on your social,
yeah,
and your Facebook. Yeah, and see what they think about it, and see what kind of comments they get, or you get. You know,
yeah,
that's always fun. That's always fun. All
it
right,
is.
all right. Well, um, Curtis, I appreciate your time. We finally got together. Finally did
Yeah.
it. And oh, I want to say one thing. I'd like to get a gig like you have, driving somebody around. I
Oh
think
yeah,
that would be that's a cushy kind of job
yeah,
there.
yeah,
You
yeah.
know.
That's a nice little gig I've got.
Yeah, yeah, that's nice. Yeah. So you let me know if you find out, hear any more of those openings, okay? Right.
All
All
right,
right.
good.
All right, Curtis. Well, appreciate it. Thank you again, and all the best to you. All right.
Same to you, buddy. You take care.
Oh, all right, Curtis.